Okay, welcome to the Tectonic School podcast. This is a solo episode today, and I wanted to highlight a couple things. Um, a lot of the information that I'm working on tends to be written material, and if you are not checking out the Tectonic School Substack, you're going to be missing out on a lot of that. And I actually wanted to share an article that I wrote today as kind of the main portion of this video. And so I'm going to get that up here. And I've also just switched things over. So shortly, you will be able to reach this Substack blog just by going to tectonicschool.com. And the plan will be probably to make that the kind of um, landing page where people can access the YouTube channel and also the Discord server and all the other things that are available there. But I wanted to read this article as kind of a way to, this is a future oriented project, but that doesn't mean you can't get started right now. And so this article is a kind of me sharing my own methods for how I use these skills and this practice and grow and even today as I was working, I was thinking about some things and I was like, yeah, this is my method and this is kind of how it works for me. And so hopefully I can share some of those tips for people who really like to learn on their own, because that's in a lot of ways how I tend to be, even though this is a community oriented thing. And part of it is to create followers and create a mentor, and an apprenticeship kind of a model of relationship. There's a lot that you can do on your own. And a good part of this program does kind of center around how can you use the time when you are working on your own to more effectiveness. And so that's what this article is about. It's the Tectonic School Toolbox for Autodidacts. What you need to get started changing the world right away. If you are part of the intended audience for this content, you are likely unsatisfied with your plan for the future. You might have dreams of the life you would like, but you don't know how to get there. High school didn't prepare you for the realities of life. Or maybe you graduated college and you realize you just don't like the landscape of opportunities in your chosen field of study. Perhaps you're tired of sitting in front of a screen all day, in which case I'll try to keep this brief. Consider for a moment the prospect of working with your hands, building something that lasts, stretching your muscles while you are earning a living, and enjoying the camaraderie of your fellow man. If these thoughts begin to stir something within your soul, you may have found the right place. Maybe you already know that you want to start learning, but you don't have someone to teach you. Thankfully, there have never been more tools available to the self-learner than now. Resources like YouTube and a myriad of other websites and apps have peeled back the curtains on the once hidden secrets of almost every trade. But beyond that, it's dispelled the mystique of trade secrets altogether. Perhaps there were once ways that only the pros knew, but the pioneer spirit of the American dream runs counter to the strict authority of the Old World Guild. The fact that many old homes have endured and remain sturdier than their modern counterparts gives proof to the point that dedication, determination, and resourcefulness are more valuable than officially sanctioned specifications. So perhaps you would like to get your feet wet or your hands dirty, but you don't know exactly where to start. Here's a list of items and exercises that will help you on your way. First, the tools. Number one, Bluetooth headphones. You may not have expected something from the electronics aisle to take the top spot, but there's actually no more revolutionary technology than these. With a smartphone to connect them, of course. I prefer the type where both headphones are connected because it's less parts to lose. Number two, a starter kit of basic tools. I'm a carpenter and a woodworker, so this will be my logical entry into the world of trade skills. The basics are important for everyone else, though, as plumbers, electricians, and other trade workers still have to interact with the basic structure of wooden buildings. Here's the most basic things to get you started: a saw, a drill, a hammer, a square, a tape measure, a pencil, and most important, these safety glasses. Number three, a completely different hobby. You may not need to acquire one of these, you probably already have one. It doesn't have to be something that you consider a hobby, but an area of experience that you can use to compare and contrast the new skills you are gaining. I like to use cooking and playing guitar. And number four, a local church. Churches are one of the only places where you can go for free to meet people who care about your well being and find opportunities to learn and grow. They aren't all the same, but if the people look normal, it should be okay. And if you haven't gone to church before, a good guide is available here. And I'm going to have to edit that to put the link in to the previous article on how to go to church. Next, a set of practices to help you on your journey. Your skill at these practices will improve with time, but the basic starting point should be achievable by anyone. Eventually, you might be able to do them at the same time. Number one, go for walks. This can be done in any environment, but some of my favorites are outdoors, preferably somewhere with trees, and the less well-maintained, the better. Next, hardware and home improvement stores, thrift stores, and flea markets. And lastly, wherever you currently are. Number two, observe places, problems, and peculiarities. As you go about your day, take nothing for granted. Whenever something piques your interest, tug on that thread until you learn something new. But specifically, ask how things are made, the purpose of particular details, and the reasons behind them. Speculate in your mind first before seeking answers from the internet. Next, observe solutions to problems, especially creative ones. Look for visible evidence of broken things that have been repaired, things that have been repurposed from their original design, or the use of unorthodox materials. And thirdly, look at discarded items and unfamiliar materials. Junk piles, old furniture, things at thrift stores, and items at the big box home improvement stores. Don't worry about what its original or intended purpose is. Look at its properties. Could you make something out of it? Could it be used to fix something or solve a problem? Third, start fixing and making things. Look around your house and see what could be fixed or improved. Look for places where a useful shelf or a box could live. Try to come up with a list of a few simple projects that won't ruin your home and try to make them happen. Next, think back on your observations. Was there some material that you could get cheap or free? What can you do with it? Is any of it useful for the projects you have on hand? And thirdly, collect things wisely that you feel you may have a good use for later on. This is tricky because it's easy to become a hoarder. You might get some duds. Pianos are not a good source of free wood. I've learned this from experience. Furniture is better. Eventually, you will be able to discern the quality and usefulness of things more quickly, but take what you can and see what can be done. You might find something that can be broken down for materials, or you could find other items that are easily repaired and sold for a quick profit. When in doubt, remember that paint covers a multitude of sins, and people love a table or dresser in a striking color. Number 4, look for insights and opportunities at your local church. While this is an Autodidacts guide, it's always good to find out who knows how to do what at your local church, just in case you need some advice. If you don't think you need help, it's still a good opportunity to learn how to talk shop with a fellow craftsman. Churches often need volunteers for things like maintenance and repair. If you are willing to work for free, you can get a lot of valuable experience. Ask the pastor if they need anything done, but don't bite off more than you can chew. A little ambition is a good thing, and it's better than selling yourself short, but don't pretend to be an expert. Lastly, churches have people who need help. Beyond working for the church itself, there are often a lot of people who need a little assistance in local churches. Oftentimes, these might be really simple tasks, but it gives a good opportunity to learn how to interact with people. It's okay to get paid, but consider the circumstances of the people you are working for. Elderly folks have a lot of need for assistance, but they often have financial concerns as well. Working for lunch is always a safe bet. And if they offer something less than appetizing, learning to graciously accept such fare is also an important skill to learn. The final step is to put all these things together. While you walk, if you aren't actively observing, or while you're breaking down items, driving to stores, or painting old furniture, use those Bluetooth headphones to listen to something thought-provoking. Some of the tasks you are learning may require your full attention, but over time, they will become like a second nature. As you achieve a flow state during these tasks, you can use that time to focus your mind on learning. There's probably a lot of other times that you are already able to enjoy listening to audio content. Begin using those times to purposefully listen to things that will help you towards your goal. A good place to start would be the Tectonic School podcast. Listening to the Bible is also very important, and good fiction as well. There are many maker podcasts that will help you learn new skills and help you come up with new ideas. There are also many things that will help you see the value and importance of what you are doing and help you seek excellence. Next, use your secondary skill set, cooking, playing guitar, or anything you know about. And as you work on these things, on those things, ponder how these new skills relate to the old skills. Like cooking, a lot of woodworking is about cutting things apart and adding them back together in new ways. Like playing music, timing and precision are important in getting things done. You can also compare and contrast what you are discovering with any other type of work you have done in the past. As you begin to make these connections, patterns of similarity should emerge. This is because the world is a coherent and understandable place, even if many want to deny it. When these patterns begin to emerge, you will be able to see the way to fix ever-increasing problems, not only in creative endeavors, but in life as well. This is the way that Jesus taught through parables. The farmer thought of himself as a simple man, but after hearing Jesus' parable, he realized that he could share what he knew about God the same way he spreads seeds. What comes of it is up to God. Then he might think about why some seeds take root and begin to examine the soil. Maybe he considers the hearts of his friends and family. Is that fertile ground? Or is it hard and rocky? Maybe he could use gentle words and kind actions over time to soften the soil. Finally, consider the hard-won lessons you have learned. Imagine you are going to teach your newly acquired skills, however feeble they may be, to someone younger and greener than yourself. You will soon realize that this requires contemplating what you have learned in a different way. You could end each day by writing this down. When you articulate and share your knowledge to someone with little to no experience, you will have a much better grasp of things yourself. Hopefully, the church you attend will have some groups where you can discuss some of these things with others. I regularly introduce strange new metaphors to the guys in the men's group I attend, and learning how to explain something without a lot of new jargon definitely helps me understand my own thinking better. So, that's the whole plan. There's no magic trick. It takes time and dedication, but anyone can learn this way. When people begin to notice the skills you've acquired, you might be surprised. You won't want to take credit. This is the way many great craftsmen react to praise, because as they grew in skill, they also grew in humility. If you've ever been on the hiring end of getting something fixed, you'll know what a great comfort it is to have your worries reassured by someone with a humble competency. It removes anxiety, which is something our world could use a lot more of. You might be the reason someone else decides that they want to learn to do some different things in their life. If they are the kind of person that likes to learn things for themselves, you can send them right back here. So that's the article, and there's a lot of stuff like that. Alternatingly between free articles, I'm also making some Bible devotions, and so there's quite a bit of free stuff, but there's also some exclusive content people want to pay. It's not very expensive. It would go a long way in kind of increasing the quality of stuff, and hopefully help me get a little bit more time to produce content and things. But I do have several people I'm planning to speak to in the future. It's just been a little bit of a crazy time with adding another child to the family. Always makes you kind of have to learn all your routines over from scratch. So that's kind of what's going on there. So this is a short little video, but hopefully you enjoy it. Please be sure to check out the Substack. Hopefully within the next 24 hours, it should be available simply by going to techtonicschool.com. And there will be other links in there where you can sign up on Discord. Discord is also something that it's set up, hasn't been fully utilized to a great extent so far, but kind of the plan is for people to connect. And eventually, as I become more aware of other people who want to take students on, it will be a place where students and teachers can be connected. I do have learned about a ministry here in San Antonio that does do a full-time construction training program. So it's something that's already kind of set up. And if somebody wanted to sign up for that, I'm guessing they probably start a new season in September in the fall. But that is something that I'm going to be reaching out, and I've worked with some of the people out there, so I'm just going to get somebody to come on the podcast and explain it, and then that could be an opportunity for somebody who wants to learn some construction skills. That's a program that's already set up and running. If somebody's wanting to set something up, that's what I'm trying to create tools for people to be able to take on these tasks and not be overwhelmed, because really it is just doing these little things, integrating those practices into your life, and kind of using that to rediscover the world that God created and figure out how he made it work. So hope you enjoy that. Please subscribe, share the video, and if you know anybody that you think would be a good guest or would be interested in watching this content, I would be very appreciative for any shares that we can get out there. So please spread the word. Thank you.